guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Creative Shock podcast. I'm your co-host Limelight, and I've got our co-host Gazimus here. How are we,
Yup.
Gaz? How's the week
Yeah,
been?
yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Obviously, just doing a lot of preparation for the upcoming tournament this weekend.
Yeah, this is a big
I
one.
feel
This
like
is a
I'm
big one.
tinkering. I feel like I am taking the same cards out and in of the deck, testing.
Yeah.
Have one
Well,
good game with them. I'm like, okay, I'm settled. Then have one bad game. I'm like, nah, this guy's dog shit. So
I currently feel like this tournament is going to be probably one of the biggest ones before Ascent. So this is like the one that you want to kind of stamp your name on if you want to be putting the effort in. You know what I mean? So I have been testing a lot of things. I've been playing with a lot of different decks. Going with, do I go with some new spice? Do I go with some comfortable spice? I've been bouncing back and forth between those over and over again. It is you win a first edition case for first tournament. It is on the Grand Archive Discord. It is the one we've been talking about. It's the first one is officially a Grand Archive tournament, as the other ones were community based. Um, you do need real cards. You have never needed real cards for the past tournaments. So we probably
correct.
will see decks that are not as complete, but then you'll see the serious players will probably have their full deck built. So you're going to have a mixture of
Uh,
both types of players.
yeah, I am playing with, I guess, a relatively complete deck. No, it's a pretty complete ride deck.
Hmm.
Haven't decided which can be a degenerate, go erupting, or can do arcane. So I am tinkering with all of that. But um, it's going to be interesting to see if people are playing a hero or champion more based on the card selection they have, and it's the
Hmm.
best deck that they can put together with their cards, and then like a few extras, or is it going to be um, super tuned decks? I think there's going to be a mixture of both, and then I expect some people to just be playing with starters,
Yeah.
and I'd recommend that. You might not win the tournament, but if we know anything from these tournaments, there are heaps of giveaways for participation, for playing a certain amount of games. And I think half my deck boxes have come from raffles. So,
Hey, you had that tournament where you won all three prizes and people were freaking
yeah.
rioting.
So that was the first tournament I played Rye. And
Lucky Rye.
the deck I built, I am a much better Rye player than I was back then. The deck wasn't good, and I just wasn't making Rye plays. So I was a little down on myself, and I remember messaging Yago, I'm not even going to stay for the raffle. Message just jumped off. And, you won the raffle. I'm like, oh, cool, what do I win? Like everything.
Hmm.
And I was like, sweet, man. Deck box, promo, and some packs. Got a few SRs in. Been
Yeah,
good
you
with my
got and a
SRs. I've
foil,
not
and you
hit
got a
it.
foil.
And a foil. I've not hit SIGs. I haven't opened that many packs, but
You've been the
man,
closest
I've been.
person to SIGs that anyone has, though. Everyone who's opened a SIG, you've been right
Yeah.
next to them, or the next to buy a pack.
Yes, I am adjacent to SIGs. So if you need someone to be adjacent to you
They think
while
that Jer is the
buying,
lucky one. It's actually Gaz. It's like the whole time it was under our nose the whole time. Gaz was actually there, not Jer.
yeah, not for myself, however.
We
Costa's
did
one,
have,
like, that was like,
well,
yeah.
that was ridiculous. I was about to say we did have the one the other week where Costa opened the pack, looked at the wrong slot in the pack, went, well, this is shit. And he's like, oh, look, what a coincidence. It's got a SIG, thinking there wasn't a SIG, being ironic, and there was a SIG in the pack. Like, you
Yeah,
can't you can't write a better story.
I didn't not miss it. I think he looked back at the pack because then I'm like, oh shit, he's done it. But and there was a Lorraine one too, which as we know, are asking for a premium.
Which is ridiculous, in my opinion, because, it is a level 3. Well, actually, you know what? Technically, I guess it is currently meta. That's not why it's
Yeah.
expensive. Did you hear the story about that? Why it's got a premium on it?
I assume just because it's now the in
It was
play
just
card. But
because V Supply needed one more for his collection, and no one was selling them, so he just
yeah.
upped the money until someone sold one, and then everyone was like, "Oh, quick, quick, it's going up!" and everyone tried to buy one. It wasn't even like anything. It was just, he wanted another one for his collection to grade, and then everyone followed suit.
Well, we've got, yeah. because all four of the starter champions, I guess there's 8 champions that came on release. I think Lorraine and Rye, they were the first ones because I guess they needed to start demo decks, and I guess
Yeah,
Lorraine was the original demo deck, so maybe
hmm
also people think that's like the flagship hero. But
yeah,
then you've got like Sylvie's on the coins, Sylvie's on the stamp on the boxes, so it's a bit hard to say they
yeah,
have like the first champion. I don't think any of the devs have come out and said, "Oh, this is my favorite champion."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
No, I agree. So with that, in the upcoming tournament, we did have a Red Zone Rogue. As of this video, it came out a couple hours ago. We had a Red Zone Rogue video come out. He will be
yeah,
running a starter deck tournament coming up as well. So there will be an entry for the tournament. It'll be over on his Discord. He does want to kind of focus on having newer players come in, but it will have event packs. It will have booster packs prizing,
yeah,
and you have to play with a starter deck. So if you want to join in, that's going to be there's been more details of that coming up at some point, and that'll be kind of fun for the newer players to get involved with, and I guess the veteran players if they want to play with the starter deck and have some fun. That is
yeah.
coming up.
I'm a bit torn on whether we like just test the starter decks to death, and then put out like if you want to play the starter deck tournament, this is the best deck. But then I'm like, it's probably against the spirit of what he's
Mm.
trying to achieve there. So
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
come to us for tips on best starter decks.
yeah. Unless Gaz, you want to do like a starter deck tier list, mate. You want to rip that one off the cuff?
It'll be like a minute video,
Yeah,
best three decks.
yeah. You know what though?
uh,
And I know it's silly. I know we're being funny about it, but if you wanted to talk about strength of starter decks, I've always said this from the start.
I think
Early
the Rye's
game,
better than the Lorraine.
new players,
Yeah,
Lorraine will shit on Rye. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
100% double downing on that. Veteran players, Rye will destroy Lorraine.
If I'm playing a person that hasn't played that many games, give me whatever starter deck and I'm beating them.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not. It, the Lorraine doesn't have enough damage, and you got to really push damage.
Mm-hmm.
Where the
Doesn't
Rye
move
can just
fast
set
enough.
up and kill. Yeah,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
it's like the Rye deck. You only add like 5 or 6 cards, maybe
Mm,
swap out a few, change the commons. The deck's like
yeah.
pretty good to go.
Which is that's what I thought was funny as well. Is that we look at the meta now. We look at we've been playing for 8 to 9 months now. We've been playing for a while
Yeah,
now,
but
and we currently have a
full set till start of the year.
yeah, sure, but we currently have a
Yeah,
meta where the big bad monster is literally the starter deck Lorraine.
yeah, or different crux package.
Pretty close. It's pretty close. It
It
runs
is.
with
It is
fusion.
pretty close. It is pretty close. That doesn't have sort of avarice. Does have
Nah, it
prismatic.
doesn't whatsoever. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's
True.
even the right one. The right one. If I look at the cards I've added to that deck and have been doing okay with, I think 2 reckless conversions and like some cards are changed in the material deck that everyone changes. Like everyone's putting on
Yeah,
All But Regret in the material deck. Everyone's put in a Grand Crusader ring, and most decks are running the element UI. So
yeah, yep,
like
yep.
Tome of Sacred Lightnings in there, and I know the new Lorraine lists are running the Majestic Spirit.
Now that's and moving on into that, like we're in that kind of situation now where everyone is. I feel like I'm in one of those like Marvel movies, and that's funny.
Alternate universes.
Well, no, Wind Lorraine is like Thanos, right? And we're all just like, how do we beat this deck? Because I don't want to play Wind Lorraine on the weekend. You don't want to play Lorraine on the weekend, but we're gonna
Nah, this is
inevitably
the
have
first
to play
tournament.
Lorraine on the weekend.
This is the first big tournament I'm not playing Lorraine.
Yeah,
I could have got the cards like just between people that we know. I could have put a deck together and had the cards. With like I've got pretty much the crux package. I was missing like random win cards, like a Phalanx Captain, and just like cards not needed for the combo or like not needed for the power of the crux.
mm,
Um, but I just didn't want to. I think because I've won one, not on, I've won the marketplace one on Lorraine. I want to win with someone else, and now I'm just like put myself in this pigeonhole of like I wanting to win with Roy. Um,
yeah, yeah. You wanna
but
push it through.
that wind Lorraine is very hard. It's just like it's got that combo, so you know it's got that a bit of inevitability about it. Not that combo, it's got that big card draw engine, pushes a lot of damage, but it has two cards that deal with decks that can punish it. It has um what's the tamer one? I just put
Which
it
one?
in my I just done a video
Cry for
half
help.
of a base unit. Cry for help. So switching target. So
I
it
watched
can
a video. Good
counter
video.
so it can counter a fire Lorraine list.
Hmm.
Like when they're trying to do the same thing, just shift the target. And then into like other matchups, it's got Veiling Breeze.
And that's what.
Now,
So that's what I want to. What I kind of want to double down on as well, though, is that how does one stop a Veiling Breeze? Like, sure, you can say Varuk. You can say Varuk.
yeah,
I've been having this discussion for the whole week, right? But playing a Varuk and then trying to do damage on that turn and or potentially not materializing the next turn feels so awkward. And
the only way,
these win Lorraines
yeah,
are level one, sort of seeking, swing, tactful sergeant, drawn blade, swing, tactful sergeant, into like a dungeon, level two dungeon guy into level three, avarice, 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 avarice. All of a sudden, they're just going to
yeah.
veil for 20.
So my idea is you have to go back to it's a non-dungeon guide fire list, but you can't lose cards. You have
Yeah.
to go first, and you have to like floating memory the shit out of it, so that when you do go level 3, you have enough cards for Rook, and to start the like bounce the sword, draw cards, and then just hope you snowball. Like even the win list, they have to. There's a bit of luck that they need to hit those cards, but eventually you hit something. You hit an
Mm-hmm.
infusion which draws you cards, or you hit
Mm-hmm.
that body. Um, so you're playing like the same list, but you can't burn cards to level up because Varuk's 4 cards, free cost, and to play it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you need another 3 or 4 cards in hand, and you
Rending,
can't and you
Insole.
can't play. Yeah, you can't play increasing danger. 'Cause if you
Nah,
play increasing danger, it's like it just hurts
it's
you.
too dangerous.
Yeah. Um, increasing danger outside of like erupting rye is just not worth it.
You know what's interesting? I was watching how narcissistic of me. I was watching one of my own elusive TCG videos yesterday, and it was you versus Tenryu back in the
Yeah.
day. Like this is 6 months ago, right? And I was sitting there because like I was like, I'm really stumped on this Win Lorraine stuff. So I went and I watched like our creative shocks. I watched like elusive TCG videos, and I was looking, and it was you versus Tenryu, Fire Lorraine versus Fire Lorraine, and I was like, these decks are quick.
Yeah.
Why are we not, you know, playing just a straight up aggro Fire Lorraine, rip out a devastating blow off the fucking top? You know what I mean?
You know what? I've been thinking about it just on the basis too that the problem that you had with when you're playing that Win Lorraine into that Win Lorraine is they had too many units.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you didn't say a flame sweep, they killed you.
But now they're not really playing units early.
Now they don't have intercept. So like maybe there's a play there. So like maybe there's just like the and that old Fire Lorraine list. I want to give credit to the person that I originally built the one I was using and did well with was Jonsu.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tweaked like a couple of cards, but it was Jonsu's list. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can go back and that might be like I think my first video you might have some success with that list on like the Gasmus channel. That first like Lorraine video that got me into a couple of top fours. I lost to Win Lorraine, um, but it was a different Win Lorraine. Yeah, I haven't
Exactly right.
even actually thought about it that much, but that list you might have some success because
Well, the way I feel about it
you
is
can
that,
kill them. I used to kill people at level 2.
mm, yeah,
I even try to get to Crux most of the time.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I last Tavern Brawler Championship or whatever, I
Yeah,
took Aggro Fire Xander in. It wasn't a refined list. I kind of threw it together, and I was like, the reason why I brought it into that tournament is I'm like, they want to be greedy. They want to play slow early. They want to get their drawn blade out. There's like 3 turns where they do nothing, right?
yeah,
So I played Fire Aggro Xander and amazing, like push, push, push. The only reason I lost to the guy who won the tournament in Swiss and the guy who won. I versed him again then in Top Cut. He got a good veiling, that's fine. But like that fire Xander is nothing on that fire Lorraine that you used to run. So
Yeah,
I'm thinking you go level 2, rip out a warrior's longsword or whatever you do, and it's like a rending blazing throw. No one's going to be ready for that now. It's
yeah.
not a thing that people do anymore.
I even I had a crystal empowerment too to try get an early devastating blow. So like, I killed people on level one Lorraine
Yeah,
because you and this was before Sword of Adversity. So Sword of Adversity will be even better if you bring out a Sword of Adversity um, on the level one Lorraine, then bring out Crystal of Empowerment. You can then devastating blow, and that's coming for 9. So like, if you're going first, they're still only level one. They only have got what is it, 20 health, Lorraine?
hmm hmm
You're doing
it's not
9 damage
much.
that turn.
Yeah, it's not much when you're pushing damage, and not even it's not even about
So
killing them. Even if you push them to 17, 18 damage counters, their
they
whole
can't
plan
get the
goes out the
drawn blade.
window. Their
They
whole plan
can't. They
goes out
can't
the
take the turn
window.
off to get the. So
Exactly.
yeah, I guess we're like yeah, I'll break. We'll quickly break down the Win Lorraine play style because it's very similar, and this is the deck I think is going to be most played.
hmm
Turn one, its first materialization outside of the spirit sort of is Lorraine. They bring out Sword of Seeking. The next turn they stay level one to bring out the Drawn Blade. They bring out the Drawn Blade so that when they're level 3, they can banish the Drawn
They can
Blade to
bring it back.
banishment.
They can bring it
They
back.
bring
Yeah.
it back. You get the additional card draw. Because when they do get to level 3, they usually only have a couple of cards in hand. Level 2, next materialization, Lorraine level 2. Now, what I'm trying to do is play decks without units so they don't get any additional card draw. I'm trying to minimize their card draw as much as possible.
You can
That
also
Lorraine,
what people miss as well is that level 2 Lorraine. If you're able to stop them from dealing damage that turn, it screws up their whole dungeon
yes,
guide level up as well.
yeah, yeah, yes, because then if they dungeon guide, they've got the card they've dealt damage. So they're, is it infusion that
Yeah, it's
doesn't cost
free if they've
anything?
dealt damage the turn
Yeah.
on the turn. Yeah.
So yeah, so like a deflecting edge or not having units out kind of stops them. Um, so that play style isn't putting any early pressure. They've also cut a lot of interceptors, so they can't stop early aggression.
Yep.
Um,
They don't run a Steam Knight anymore.
they don't run a Steam
They
Knight.
they just run Swift Recruit and that's it. And even with that, they're greedy. Sometimes they don't even play it or run it.
Yeah. So the cards, so the current decks, your two Xanders aren't playing super aggressive. Fire Xander can, but they're not. And Water Xander, it's a slow deck. It's gets to level 3 and then takes a couple of turns to build a massive um, hand size and then does all the real. Can't win. Can't do that deck.
hmm
Could there be a super aggressive tamer deck? Potentially. And
Well,
I
that's the
think it'll be more. I think it'll be Allen. I think it's going to be Allen. Fire Allen maybe with the
I
dire
made a Fire
wolves.
Allen deck yesterday. I haven't played it yet. I did make one.
Maybe with the dire wolves, but then you're really like you have one shot to kill them because like unfortunately the fire beasts don't like cycle a card back. It's like discard a card to do damage and then that's it.
What's
Um,
an interesting twist as well is that the pride mechanic being changed. That wasn't like that in game dev. Sorry.
yeah,
Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. That wasn't tested in game dev testing, right? So the pride
yeah,
mechanic changes everything that was tested prior to the game coming out, and that could potentially change everything in regards to what's been tested or not tested. Currently, if I'm honest, Sylvie still feels the same. Maybe because the better players are just playing around the retaliate mechanic and they're not cleaving or
yeah.
whatever. But that could be just my naivety, and it could be a deeper thing. A good Sylvie deck might pop up. Who knows?
Yeah, the only reason why I say fire is just because like the cards are banishing, so you are filling your graveyard, and then you have the opportunity to erupting,
Mm,
um, and you have a lot more other melodies. So like you don't have to play Ember Song. You've got other cards that can trigger erupting, so
yeah.
you can have it in your hand easier.
hmm
Um, I feel like that. I feel like that deck then loses into like everything else.
Yeah.
But what are you expecting win Lorraine's this tournament? I'm saying more than half.
I'm saying that there'll be more than half Lorraine's, and I'm saying there'll be at least 20 win Lorraine's.
I reckon there'll be 60% Lorraine, and like
I
of that
think
sixty
easily
percent,
60% Lorraine.
80% are going to be wind.
Mm, yeah.
It's
I'm
just
going to
it's
say
just the
20. I'm going to say just a raw number 20 win Lorraine's.
if anyone's played the Fire Lorraine into Win Lorraine, they're going to be like, well, the Win Lorraine just does it better. Well, not does it
Yeah.
better. I think the Fire
Fire
Lorraine
Lorraine into win
is
Lorraine's
better
not fun.
into yeah, but it's just such a bad matchup. The exact same Fire Lorraine as the Win Lorraine, where you're doing the
Yeah.
Sentience infusions,
Yeah. Yeah.
Sword of Avarice, just flicking.
You kind of have to
But
roll
the
high
value
on Fire Lorraine.
the value of Lantern has gone up, but because the Lantern usually, oh, I'm only playing Lantern to stop erupting, right?
No.
But now it's good for the Lorraine matchups too now, just to
Watching
stop them.
watching the Recollection podcast, shout out to Adventure Co. Their
Yeah,
locals, they had a Water Sylvie that was doing really well, and then he turned up to locals last week, and people started lanterning his snake, and he didn't realize that it worked like that, and
yes,
had a rough time. So lantern is
yeah.
good for many things.
We got another. There's another podcast coming out too. I'm assuming it's coming out. It's called Podcast, Floating Memory Podcast. They've got a
It's
first
called
video,
pod.
but
There's a
it's a
podcast coming out. It's
TTS.
called podcast.
It's called the Floating Memory Podcast. They got a it's a TTS tutorial on it at the moment. But I'm just excited, man. That's like there's 4
I
podcasts
want more
currently.
content. I love Lineage
Yeah,
Break. I love Recollection. Yeah, Recollection. I love all these podcasts. I go and watch them all the time when I'm working and chilling out. I love it. I think they're great.
yeah. I am also looking forward to more J content. I am trying to put out as much as I can.
You're doing
Uh,
great. You're
Um,
killing it.
so like, but yeah, I like watching the videos. I've always like even like the other game Fab. I've just always enjoyed watching content. Um, but the Discords continue to grow. We've got Alter in 2 weeks. It just feels like these games. It's like a lot of organic growth. It doesn't
Hmm.
have IP behind it. Doesn't have a major corporation, but it feels like the people that are involved are passionate. You can feel that passion, um,
I'm happy to say
like
for how.
like you at Crown. He made pamphlets. He
Yeah,
created a
yeah.
pamphlet so people can give, and it's like a clean looking,
Mm,
very clean looking pamphlet, and it's like you don't get that in games that don't have
passion.
what's that? Or heart. Like the game feels like it's got a soul.
Yeah,
It's
and other card games, they have big IPs, as you said. They can throw
yeah,
money into advertising and marketing. I'm
yeah,
happy to be open, and I love Grand Archive. You guys, I'm fucking everywhere with it, but
yeah,
the marketing isn't really that big. There is not much marketing. There is not much advertising. Some people still don't have any idea what it is because there's only 6 game devs. They're busy trying to release the game, plan OP.
yeah,
Sitzcraft has been around the world twice in the last 6 months, it feels like, right? So I do understand that it is hard for them to be doing a million things at once, but they are lucky to have people like yourself, like me, like Crown, like all these people that are taking their time, their precious, valuable hobby time to push the
yeah,
game, to make this content. Like, it could have gone easily the other way where no
yeah,
content was made. It
yeah. And
really could have.
it's we've played a lot of different card games, but this one feels like it feels different. So like there's obviously I enjoy playing the game, but I motivated to try help any way I can.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess we've also been fortunate that we say it all the time, but our store was an early adopter and really
Hmm.
gave us room to like do what we wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
It does help that if you've got I guess passionate people around you.
yeah,
Um, he Mr. Chen originally wasn't even that interested. Didn't even know what it was to
no,
begin with. It just took time
no,
for him to realize what it was. He thought it was just like a Weiss Schwartz ripoff from Japan,
yeah,
and I had to be like, no, you need to actually look into this. And just like anyone though, once he played the game, he fell in love, and like the game mechanically is where don't get me wrong, art's beautiful, and people are here for art as well. But I'm here like mechanically, it's just great to play. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
can grind games out for 8 hours a day. I Man, I go to bed every night thinking about decks. I sent a deck to our group chat last night, 1 a.m. I was like, hey guys, sorry it's late. I think I'm crazy, but this could be decent. And it's just like a random deck that I made at 1 a.m. in
Yeah.
bed.
I'm going to bed sleeping off like, what can I do for the thumbnail to change it? I guess we're having we're having different we're
we're,
having different
we're
dreams
different.
there.
Yeah.
Both create
Uh,
archive related. But I was like, I want to
yeah.
change the thumbnail. I'm like
Hey
sick of
man,
the
I was watching, as I said, I was watching your videos. I was watching your videos yesterday, and you said if I have 150 subscribers by Alter, I'll be happy. Is what you said. I'm quoting you
yes.
off your video, and you're at 157 a week before Alter, or 2 weeks before Alter.
Yeah, and
So you did it. You kicked the goal. Where's the champagne? Rip it out. Come on.
here's the
I know it's
champagne.
I know it's 8 in the morning, but
I've bought more gear. I'm slowly just buying more stuff. I'm just slowly
you
getting
bought more
more in the
gear.
hole.
Wait, you bought more gear. Or you bought more camera stuff, mate. You got to be careful with that one.
Camera stuff.
I bought more
Camera
gear.
stuff. I
Uh,
bought a light. I've got
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I love that you buy this stuff because then you can bring it to good games and I can use it and we can record stuff. So
Oh,
it's great.
the light. I don't think it's going to be as portable. Hopefully, we'll see. I'll get in a couple of days. I'm gonna try film tonight. I'm gonna try film some
I
gameplay
heard
tonight.
potentially you may be getting a bit of better backdrop than your empty house. Is that true?
Yes, that's also. I'm not a carpenter, but I started looking. I'm like, I will put a. I'll do a floating shelf, and then it's like the studs. They're just not in good positions for me to have a nice floating shelf. And then I was like, I'll just.
Uh,
Eventually, I'm going to get pictures, but then I looked at just making those promotional banners that you can just roll out. Oh,
just slap this tape on the wall, fucking easy.
yeah, so I was like, I was looking at the cardboard cutouts, and it's just so hard to get like the art, like the. If
You
anyone
know
at
what you
Regis
need
Shore
to get?
can
Just
send me an image that I can just use because they've got the banner images, so I'm just going to use them.
mm,
And I'm like, oh, I'll just get a banner made.
just get a
I'll
display.
put it like here
Have you
somewhere.
seen display before?
Yeah, I know, but like that just rips off half the wall. And like, if I'm going to do something, I actually want to make it.
Yeah, yeah,
So
great. I
ideally,
don't worry about it.
I was gonna like when we if there's like a really good picture I like, I'll get that framed and I'll just have a couple of framed things. And maybe if there's a very spicy creative shock potential coming down the line, I'll have
Mm,
that in the background.
yeah, nice, nice. That'd be cool.
Uh, but
We got
yes, I do
official.
have furniture in this house.
We got official Fractured Crown release date or launch
Yes,
date, August 25th. It means that we will have a month and 5 days to learn the new cards,
I'll have 2 weeks.
build it. Why would we have 2 weeks?
I'm going. I decided to go on a holiday before Houston,
Oh, all right. Beauty. Where you going?
so I'm Japan.
Oh, Japan.
So I fly from
No, no,
Japan
no,
into
no
Houston.
training for you, mate. You're just gonna rock up to the tournament like this. Like, what's this deck? Yeah. What's this? Yeah.
Uh,
All right. I don't know.
my plan is to get into Houston early. So hopefully, if there's anyone in Houston that's got locals or wants to test, I'll be in there. I think from the Monday that week of.
I don't think there's gonna be much time to figure out a meta. I think it'll be chaotic, and I think that there
Yeah,
might be. We've seen. Obviously, we saw the Lancelot cards. There's been leaks in the Discord, which I have not seen all of them, but there was some leaked cards as well. It looks like the meta will be slowing down. So aggro players, apologies. Sounds like
it just the bit that that I guess scares me is the picture that they've released is like still crux.
yeah, true,
So
true.
it's
It is
like
still
we'll go.
Crux.
What's the shake up to the meta? It's just more Lorraine.
It's like we understand that Lorraine is top tier, but look, the picture is Lorraine. All right, it is what it is.
Yeah,
Sorry, guys.
yeah. It's
That's
like
so
it's the
funny.
spirit beast. It's the spirit beast, and then her standing in front of it. So
Yeah, it looks like some type of it's like the dragon, right?
I have no idea what animal or what mythological beast that is, but
It's something big.
yeah, yeah,
I think it looks like a bird. That's what I keep saying. It's like a bird type of character.
yeah. I don't know. It's got like a bit of like that. can't remember the name, but
like
that
Big
beast
Bird
that
off
likes
Sesame
protecting
Street.
the church in like Elden Ring.
Oh,
Like
I have not played El. I
those
haven't
black
played
ones with
Elden.
like the long black swords. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's
Oh,
got those
jeez,
vibes to me. That gives me
jeez.
PTSD. It took me forever to get past that. I
uh,
was very underleveled trying to beat that.
Speaking of which, though, Silidar did say in the Discord that either tomorrow or the day after there is a new article. There's been a lot of new articles coming out recently, actually, which I was
Oh,
quite
the one
happy
from
about.
Sitzercrash, that talk about
Tearjerker, yeah, I 100%
yeah,
agree. So we had let's see if I can bring it up. So we've had a few throughout, like we had a quiet time for about 2 months where there was no articles. But then recently we had Anime North is coming up. They've got a special
yes,
promo for Anime North, which is Xander and its strategic planning, just like we got for Australia. They've also got Hanchu there. Hanchu will be signing stuff there. And there's
and
also
selling
a
some like
signed playmat
schmick.
of Nia alt art, which is amazing.
Yeah,
Um, and then we had officially being told about Ascent Houston. We have all the dates, we have all the stuff. It's all officially up there, and the info's there.
yeah. So
Crown
just a quick
Plaza
summary:
Hotel.
Crown Plaza, Path of Steel. At the moment, the minimum cash prize 10K. Day one, day two. So day one, Swiss. Day two, some more Swiss, and then top eight single elimination. The first place card looks amazing, and I think it's just variations of that same card, but like saying second, third, fourth, etc. With that, you also get the wild card qualifier card, which I'm that that card's going to be awesome too. If it's like
So
looking at the
they're
existing
doing,
cards,
sorry to interrupt, but they're doing
yeah.
Swiss into top 32, into Swiss, into top eight.
So yeah, so top 32. So it'll just be cut off at the end of
Swiss
day
starts
one,
again.
and then there'll be another 4 rounds of Swiss to get to top eight. So if we go by the 12 rounds, you're going to have to like be 10-2 most likely
Yeah,
to
yeah.
make top eight. So
But it'll be different Swiss. So I think day one will be 8 rounds of Swiss,
yeah,
and
day
then
two is only 4 rounds.
your score will reset, right?
No, no, usually they carry over.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, yeah. It wouldn't make sense for them
See, I
to
thought it
not.
was like 8 rounds of Swiss into top
No, no,
32, into 4 rounds of Swiss fresh into top eight.
no, no. So 32 is like your cutoff. You also do that, so then the people that can't make it, like they would have dropped anyway, but then they can do side events and
Yeah.
watch and whatever else. But usually it's your total score because
Okay. Okay.
if you it doesn't benefit you're hard done by if you've gone 8-0.
And then go
Like you
zero
should
four.
that yeah, that should carry over. So
Yeah.
if,
Okay.
if you went 0-4 regardless, you're not making it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like 10-2 and tiebreakers get you through, and then anything else above that.
So first place 5,000 USD currently. I wonder what they mean by
It says
minimum.
minimum. It
I wonder
says
if they're going to
minimum.
bump
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah. I wonder if
yeah.
they're going to bump it.
So like I feel like maybe like ticket sales or whatever, maybe it's like they're based on that's minimum, and then if they sell out, it's another.
5,000 USD is a lot for a first big event for a small company.
The card's probably going to be worth more than that anyway. Like
I
if
think
you
Big
add the
Supply is
card,
offered 15 grand
okay.
for first.
So the card that the boxes, because they'll be first edition boxes, you're probably looking at minimum 15K USD. We'll say,
Hmm.
oh, and I'm shading someone that card.
Yeah, of course.
Then you
What I
convert it
thought,
to AUD, and we're laughing.
yeah, it's a house deposit, pretty much.
I
But
don't know where
no,
you're buying houses,
what
but
what I thought was interesting was Nationals wildcard qualifier card.
interesting. Yeah, I think you trade it in, and then you get like a CR, so like you get a collector's rare. But to have a physical card, I like physical mementos and that. Um,
Mm.
hate to lose that card.
It'd be
Hate to
yeah.
lose that
I
card.
wonder. I'm guessing it'll be some type of card that you can trade in to get into nationals. But what I'm thinking
You can
is
sell
that
the
going to be
card too. It's
national?
transferable.
Oh, is that going to be in Australia or do we? Is that going to be in America? We don't know where the
I think.
nationals would be.
Well, nationals is one nation, so I think there'll be multiple nationals.
Of course, of course. And I think
If if
if they're
if, if I was looking at the current demographics, I'd say there'd be a nationals in America and Canada, unless they make them as one. But then it's
yeah,
weird.
yeah,
One in Australia, one. maybe Taiwan. Like I don't know, they've got their own card. I don't know. Where's AK Games?
Singapore. No, Malaysia.
Maybe one that's in
Malaysia.
Malaysia. So I feel like wherever there's store and there's a current, wherever there's like a need for a nationals, I feel there's going to be a nationals. If
Yeah.
that makes sense,
I think
because they're
we'll
not
get
till
one.
next year. So yeah,
We
I
should
definitely
get
think
one.
we'll get one.
Would
Yeah,
you? So, okay, think about strategy wise, right? You come top eight. Oh, no, not even you come top eight. You come second or first, yeah? You get
yeah,
2,500 USD or you get 5K USD. You get the qualifier card.
yeah.
Are you flying back to America to use your wild card to play in their nationals and then qualifying for our nationals?
You might not be allowed to play in the nationals.
You are pretty sure. I don't know if it's official. Pretty sure you can. If you can, let's just say you can.
Would I
Are you
fly back to
taking
the
that prize
States?
money and you're are you running it back, mate?
Well, with the prize money, I could get flights again. Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe,
because
maybe. You'd have to come for.
that would
Yeah,
be my
you'd have to.
plan. If I'm coming first or
Yeah,
second, I'm getting this wild card. I'm taking that money. Sorry, Amy. Going back on flights. I'm checking in my card, cash in the bank, money in the bank. We're going back to America and we're doing their nationals, and I'll try and qualify for our nationals.
yeah. There's also the possibility of going like 2-6 day one, and then day
Yeah,
two.
and dropping and getting drunk. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know that's true. Especially with a new meta, like we can't practice now. We don't have the cards. We don't know what's going on. There's
Yeah, I
no
think
time.
I was talking when I was talking to Amy. She's like, oh, she's like, us two will probably be up late. I go, look, if I'm up late, then I'm like, I've done a
You're
poor
in a
day
bad
one.
state.
I've done
Yeah,
poor day one. If I'm like,
yeah,
hey, where can we go drinking in Houston?
yeah. And that's the thing. I think it's going to come down to fundamentals. It's going to come down to people that can just throw together a deck, be like, "Yep, this is good," and play it. It's the skill. It's going to be
yeah,
very skill focused because there's not going to be a meta. Like for example, shout out to 40, right? 40 in
yeah.
every tournament, he can play something random and still push into a top eight. He can miss round one in a tournament and still sneak into top eight. Like that type of play
Just
and that
plays
type of
fundamentals,
player, yep, that can just fundamentally play the
fundamental
game
value.
well are the
Yeah,
people that sneak in. 100%.
he'll be okay with me saying this. I think 40's biggest weakness is going to be the clock.
Yeah. His worst enemy, the opponent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely
That
agree.
he could be against anyone and be comfortable, but then like tick
He's not playing water. Let's
tick
just say that. He's not locking
tick.
water in. There's no way.
He's fire matches, man. Best of three, get to an hour, like with not a lot of change. No, I love you 40, but
uh...
um,
nah, he
sitting
agrees.
across
He
your
agrees.
TTS and just seeing the cards like flip back, back, back. It's like, but then you're like, why does he do well? Because he's thinking about every line.
He actually
He's not
thinks
just
about
going,
his moves. Yeah, yep.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
true.
I think that's everything that we've wanted. Oh, well, we had one question. I kind of feel like we went up to it and just like in the 40. So one of the questions that we did get was any tournament tips.
Mm-hmm.
It's an online tournament, so some of the tips are different. Like in person ones, I always make sure I've got like water, something to eat. You're at home, so like you should be good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my tournament tip is not to rush plays. Like I know there's an hour clock, and we're joking that like you don't want to run to time. With that being said, don't be there 10 minutes thinking every turn, but just make sure you see each line.
Yeah.
Um, and if you do lose game one, in the best of three, just take a breath, go game two. Don't get tilted. If you lose the first round, don't get tilted. You can probably win because it's cutting to the top four. I don't think you can go 0-2 and make it.
Mm.
But keep playing. It's good practice.
My tips would be don't pick a deck that you feel uncomfortable on, even if it does seem good. Don't pick a
Yes.
deck that is made to beat. Let's say, like, don't go into it like I've been trying to and go, I want to beat Win Lorraine, so I'm going to build this deck that beats Win Lorraine. And then you lose to everything else and you go 0-4 and you never get a chance to even play Win Lorraine. I
Yeah.
say play the most consistent deck that you're good with and that you're able to play with. And that is probably the best thing you can do. And then
Yeah.
just play the best you can, like, and just stick to
Yeah.
how
Like
you play.
I've done better. I've done better on like a B or A tier deck. that I
Yeah.
know intimately. And then an S tier deck, I'm picking up a couple of weeks before tournaments because the nuances come through repetition, and if you don't
Yeah.
get those reps in, you're doing yourself a disservice. Like you might high roll, but I don't think the Win Lorraine deck is very strong. The Crux package,
Hmm.
and it does have a simple line of play, but you're not going to get that play every game. So it's the games that you don't get that play is what makes a good player to one that's just picked up the deck and it gets punished.
Yeah.
Um, because you might not see the Beseech or you might not have the Dungeon Guide. What do you do
Exactly
now?
right. Exactly right.
Because you're losing an extra card. What
You do
happens?
need
So you
to.
need
You
to,
can't just follow a cookbook and follow like I have to do this step 1, 2, and 3. You do need to
yeah.
just know your deck and know how to play in general.
Yep. So can't wait for the tournament. Can't wait to again hopefully play some new people or any of the other people I've played again. Just looking forward to. I haven't played too much like super competitive games at the moment.
Yeah.
Been too
You've been
busy.
busy. Yeah.
Been busy. Like I made a Sylvie deck and just was playing Sylvie, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
let's try to get this out. And I was like, wasn't playing. I played Sylvie for the tournament, so I'm like, well, there's like 3-4 days. I'm just getting out. But the video
Yeah.
done well. People like the video, so thanks for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly right. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully, we gave you some good info for upcoming tournaments and upcoming events. And we'll see you in the next podcast.
So yeah.
See you guys.